he was doing. He had a notepad out.
No.
Yes. He had a notepad. And I was just like, and then he starts asking me for marriage advice. I think that's a good one.
Wait, I am crying. Welcome back to another episode of the Planner Suite. And today is a special day because we have someone here with us.
Yes, we do. So we have Ashley with Bridal Babes with us here today. And I'm super excited for this conversation because, I mean, we've talked a lot about bridesmaids and all of the things on the Planner Suite, and we finally have a pro here to talk about it. I've just been talking shit this whole time, but we finally have someone who can talk about dresses, how many people, the ins and outs, because honestly, me and Whitney really don't know.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Ashley, tell us a little bit about your business and you.
Well, bridesmaids are a wild, wild place to be. I'm just going to say that. So we started Bridal Babes. So my husband and I started Bridal Babes back in 2019 officially, but really it came out of our wedding in 2016.
Okay.
So 2016, I'm going to set the stage for you guys. Okay.
Let's do
So
it. Let's do it.
Instagram has like really just entered the chat. Okay. Weddings are like starting to get extravagant, but it's not really crazy. But you know, like I had a certain vision for my wedding. Okay. So you notice I switched over to mine, right?
Yeah.
It's no longer our, okay.
Right.
So it's my wedding. And so we were at destination. It was Mexico. I wanted like these vibrant, gorgeous dresses. And we were also one of the first couples to get married. So a lot of my friends were single. So I'm like, I want my bridesmaids to be in some sexy dresses. Okay, I don't
Like
want them to just be in,
beachside.
yeah, but not like, you know how you think about beachside is like, you know, tulle, flowy,
yeah.
you know, coral, which is a color
You
that
want
I
them
do
showing
not like.
body.
I want them showing body. And my
know
girls,
that's right.
they had a body,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
They're all
We've
shapes,
talked about
and
that, the
sizes.
hips,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes, and you want to move, right? You're at
Yeah.
destination wedding. So I'm like, okay, my girls look good. They probably going to be trying to find a man, you know. So I want them to like be able to show that off. So I searched for dresses, literally high and low. I found some like on random websites, but they weren't bridesmaid dresses. They had stretch to them. They like literally accentuated their curves, and they were in all sizes. So my bridesmaids were size 2 all the way to size 18, 20, you know, depending upon the day.
Right.
And so I found dresses for them, and I was like, other brides have to have this feeling where they want their bridesmaids to look good in dresses and like feel good and enjoy themselves. And I feel like they're spending $300 on a dress they're never gonna wear again.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how we started Bridal Babes.
Awesome.
After that, our wedding went viral. I say viral 2016 term, so probably like 700 likes or something like that. But it was a hot wedding. And yeah, so we started Bridal Babes after that. So I like to say my husband and I went from high school sweethearts to newlyweds and business partners within about 24 hours.
Love
Wow.
that.
I love that.
Love
I love that. So we know that Bridal Babes is a bridesmaid shop that caters to bridesmaids. What makes you different from other bridesmaid shops? Because we know they are popping up. They even have the ones where you do a virtual try-on now.
Oh my gosh,
so-
a virtual try-on? Good luck with that. Okay.
But what makes you different from other bridesmaid shops or dress shops?
Yeah, I think a lot of shops don't have the heart behind them. So I told you the story of me wanted to make sure that my bridesmaids didn't go through the feeling of like, oh my gosh, I'm a size 12. Where am I going to get a dress from? Or I have to spend $200-300 on alterations because this dress doesn't have stretch. It's a satin dress, and I have hips. And I have a small waist.
Been
So
there.
I'm gonna have to get it altered, right? You've been there, right? And so the heart behind the business, it was never about making money.
Right.
You know, the business was like, I want to create something that should exist, right? I like to say my goal was like to make like 25% of my salary so I could like be at home with my kid.
Right.
And that was it, you know, and it far, far exceeded that. But it's really because, you know, the heart behind it, really
Love
having
how
the passion.
God works. I have to say that because I feel like between you and other guests that we've had, the one thing that they said was like, you know, like it was like God put a stop on them. And this isn't a spiritual podcast or anything like that.
Why
But
not? Why not?
No,
Why
but I
not?
have to say that, like, when it is meant to be and you're doing it the way that you're supposed to, like, I know personally, I'm ran into Bridal Babes on Instagram. Like I saw you guys on Instagram and you talked about the sizes and things. And that, I mean, my best friend is white. So, you know, I was one of those satin dresses that didn't work at all.
What color was it? Was it one of my favorite
it was
colors?
Like emerald green or
something.
something.
Okay. At least it was emerald. It wasn't teal.
No, it was emerald green. It wasn't teal. And it's just kind of like, you know, when you see those things, like we need that. That's what we need. We need the people who are thinking about our shapes and the things with the stretch and all of that. So I love that. But going back to God, it makes sense. It's working out for you because it's ordained in your steps.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And I think when you're walking in your passion and you're following all of those signs, right? Like it's scary to go from, side note, you know, go from full-time job to entrepreneur, then both of us being entrepreneurs. It's like, that's crazy. Why are we doing this? Our first year where we were both full-time, that was our like breakthrough year. Okay, over $1 million in revenue. We were on Shark Tank. I mean, things were just moving. And that's when you're moving in, like you said, what God has ordained, and you're moving in your true passion and purpose. And really, I mean, people can see through that. Right. Now we have a shop. So I was talking about the virtual trials, like good luck with that, right? Because returns are insane with bridesmaid dresses. Even with all the stretch we have,
they still be returning.
Somebody
like,
who is a size 14 wants to buy a size 8. Now, you know you were really pushing it. Okay, you should have got a 12. Yeah. You know, should have got a 12. Right. Okay, we do leave some room for error.
So you have a brick and mortar now.
Yeah, so we have a brick and mortar.
Okay.
Because, so typically with bridesmaid dresses, to your point, okay, so typically with bridesmaid dresses, they're final sale. So when you go into the store, or even when you order on these sites, I'm not going to say where the sites are based.
China.
Okay. Maybe or maybe not. And even when they steal our photos and put it on their site, and my girls be like, is this your model? They change it to colors that I would never put in. So I'm like, you know, it doesn't really make sense, right? So anyway, they also are final sale, even online. And what we know is with our customer, they want to try on the dress. We know they're going to order 2 sizes too small. And so we do allow for exchanges even online, right? And so we realize even with all the stress we put in the dresses, even with all the guidance, sometimes they don't follow that. And when you're in a tight situation where the wedding's coming up in like a month, it's best that they come and try on in person. So we have our studio in Maryland where you can actually come in. We have girls who travel from New York, Philly. We have one from Kansas City. They come from North Carolina. So like, because they know they can come into the store and try on dresses. That's also something that's different for bridesmaids, because there's not a lot of stores where you can try on bridesmaid dresses.
Right. And then can I just bring this up? That might be a little bit off, but you guys do something, don't you do like not a virtual, but you guys do something where you do like a try-on party with the bridesmaids, don't you?
Yeah.
I was looking for a bride and I saw that you guys had this and I was like, you guys should do this, because she actually, don't you get on a Zoom and you talk to them about it? So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes. Okay, so this is the part, I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you, because I'm looking at camera.
No.
So.
But
What? Am I messing up the recording? Okay. No. Your mouth was like, wow, like, oh, what is she doing?
They're going to cut it so it works.
Right.
So don't worry about the cameras. Right.
So we were talking about the virtual try-ons. So with the virtual try-ons, this is like what I love. I love actually like meeting our clients. Again, something that makes us different, right? And so what we do is we set up a free call with just the bride. Please do not bring the bridesmaids on that call, because the bridesmaids bring the drama and the confusion and the preferences. Okay, so we start with the bride. She can bring mother of the bride. She can bring planner. She can bring one maid or matron of honor, one bridesmaid, but you're not bring the whole gang with you. And I really get to know her, whether it's me, whether it's one of our other stylists. We really want to get to know our client, right? Get to know what they're looking for, help like any concerns that they have. Because it is like, oh my gosh, I'm buying a dress online. I'm spending possibly, $300+ on this dress. I want to know who I'm shopping from. I don't know if they're based in whatever place, right? When they see that it's a Black woman, a Latina woman, an Asian woman, these are the women that work for Bridal Babes, right? Yeah. On this Zoom, they immediately feel connected. Right, they're like, this is someone that I can connect with. So we create that relationship first. We get to know them. And then we bring the bridesmaids in. So once she has decided on the exact dress, we create a custom bridesmaid purchasing page. It has all the details. So they can't go and pick out this dress from the website and say, oh, I thought it was supposed to be that one. It has all the specific details. It has the ordering deadline, because they like to say they didn't know the deadline.
Yes.
And they ain't
The
getting in
bridesmaids
time.
be giving you trouble.
No, but the bridesmaids be giving
They are.
everybody trouble.
That
They be
is
giving me
true.
trouble. They be trying to do their own makeup,
Oh.
tailoring their dress to look better than the bride. Let's talk about that.
Listen, they are a piece of work. Now, when you get a good group,
Yeah.
it's a good group.
Yeah.
And I really do appreciate that, because you are supposed to be there for the bride.
Right.
Like, that's your job. You're really not supposed to be saying what dress you want to wear. And if you don't like the color and the style, just go with the flow.
Right.
Go with her vision.
So that was my next question when it comes to bridal parties and bridesmaids. Because you said when you get a good group, what qualities do you think makes a good group or a good bridesmaids? Like when somebody is looking for a bridesmaid, what should they be looking for in their group of friends?
Okay, so like I said, I have met many bridal parties, whether it's on those virtual group consultations that we have after we create the page, or whether it's in our studio, right? Or if it's just on email and they're just whatever. So what I will say is someone who is truly there for the bride. She's not there for the clout of the position. Because honestly, people are like, oh my, I'm the maid of honor. And they think that they're like the mini bride.
Girl, what?
Yeah. So I think that's the first thing. Are they truly there for the bride? Do they have the time to commit, right? So I could say right now, I would be the worst bridesmaid. I have absolutely no time to commit to anyone's wedding, right? Can I help her with, looking for invitations, reviewing something, planning the bachelorette party, the bridal shower? Like, do I have the bandwidth for that, right? So the time commitment is another one. And then the financial commitment. Can they commit to the cost of being a bridesmaid? So that means if it's a destination wedding, can you get to the wedding? Do you know how many bridesmaids the bride will call and be like, yeah, I had to kick her out the wedding. I need to do a last minute bridesmaid because she can't afford to get down to the wedding. Come on now. Why did you say yes to a destination wedding when you couldn't afford it? Okay. And then obviously, go ahead.
About transparency and a lot of things. People don't know how much this stuff costs.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? Going back to those group ordering appointments and like the initial call that we have with the bride, we help talk her through that.
That's
right?
good.
So we say like, this is why you want to shop for bridesmaid dresses 6 to 9 months in advance, because you want to give them time to save up. They might need to get alterations on their dresses. Very rarely do they have to get alterations. But if they do, whether it's a hem or taking in a little bit of the waist or whatever it is, they need time to do that. And you don't want them to just get the dress, right? Just pay for it, get the dress, and then be getting alterations. And that's all piling up at once. So I think helping to level set, because, you have to remember, for brides, a lot of times it's the first time they're doing it. Hopefully it's the last time that they're planning a wedding, right? And so there's a lot of education that goes into it as well. And that's what we help them with.
Yeah, so you brought up something good about that, about making sure there was enough time and educating from there. But let's talk a little bit about budget. Budget about bridesmaids dresses and things like that. Is that something you tap into, or how do you think brides should approach it a little bit? Because that's a sketchy subject when it comes to weddings and people being in your wedding.
So I think you know your girl, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
so if you're signing up to be a bridesmaid for a bride who her requirement is going to be, you need to wear Louboutins as a bridesmaid, and you need to purchase them. She's not purchasing them. And she wants to go to Paris for the bachelorette party.
I love that.
And I love that for her.
I love that.
I love that for her.
I love that for her.
I love that for her. So you know your friend when you're signing up for the wedding, right? And you know that you guys are maybe going to do our luxe collection and not our affordable collection, because she's a luxe collection kind of girl, right? But I also think, the bride, it's on her to level set. So when you're doing your bridesmaid proposal, show her the dress at Bridal Babes that you want. Let her see the price tag, right? Tell her, this is my vision. Have your little mood board for the shoes, and this is what I'm looking for the bridal shower, all those things, so that they know. Now, we have Afterpay, we have Shop Pay, we have PayPal, we have all the pays, right? So you're able to do it in installments, but everybody don't have that.
No, and you're right. And I love how you said be realistic up front. Like, show them, like, people are doing these bridal proposals for Instagram, where they just doing like some Jo Malone perfume and some champagne and all the other things, but they're not showing them what they have to pay for. And that is really, really important. But outside of that too, I really do think it's important that you also scale like what is important to you as a bride, you know?
Right.
So I just want to bring this back to back to bridesmaids dresses. What are the ranges that we're seeing bridesmaids dresses for? Because they are not all the same.
No, they're not. So you can go and get those. I don't want to seem like I'm a hater.
Little-
Wait,
those
go
little
ahead.
dresses.
No,
She
be
said
real.
those little dresses.
No, be real, because that's what we want.
So you can get your dresses on affordable sites,
Okay.
such as the one that billionaire owns, right? And the dresses go viral, right? But what they haven't talked about is how much the alterations cost
Right.
on a dress that is, first of all, cut by designers who don't look like us, so they don't take into account your curves. And then also they're not stretch, right? They're not stretch satin. They're that real stiff satin, right? And so you're having to invest another 200 plus in alterations to get the dress to look like what the final product is, right? So you can go low, but the quality and the cut and all of that may not be what you're looking for. Now, we have dresses as low as like 100, 125 on the site, but they still maintain our standards on fit and actual fabrication, right? Like I said, we always going to take into account the curves. We're always going to make sure it has stretch. We don't have a single dress on our site that doesn't have stretch, right? And then if you want to go custom or made to order, which we don't do that. I mean, but you're looking at like $500-$600, maybe more for a dress. Our Luxe collection, our highest collection, it has like a lot of detail, like the draping, it's like convertible, all of that. It's around $300
That's still
with
not
the
bad.
discounts on the
Yeah,
site.
but I mean, I think that you bring up alterations because people forget about that. They think about just the price of the dress and then they don't think about the alterations. So thank you for dropping some numbers.
Oh
to
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And for us, we tell the girls, like, don't go to a wedding seamstress. Just because it's a bridesmaid dress, you don't have to go to a wedding gown seamstress because they're going to charge you through the roof. Like I've had girls who's like, hold on, why do these all, you told me it's only going to be $30 because if you go to the tailor
cleaners,
at the cleaners down the street, then you're good to go. But if you're going to a wedding, she's going to charge because she probably has a huge overhead and she's used to dealing with tulle and lace and all that. These dresses don't have that, right? And so definitely factoring in alterations and finding a good place to do them and get a few quotes too.
Right.
Don't just go with whomever. But again, when you plan ahead of time and you're getting your dresses 6 to 9 months in advance of the wedding, then you have time to shop around for alterations. But if you're like them girls who order the dress on Monday and the wedding is on Saturday,
That part.
and you're like, why didn't my Bridal Babes Prime order arrive on Tuesday? And now you have to get alterations on Wednesday.
And you're going to 24 hours.
Right. So they're going to charge you a crazy amount, right? So that all goes back to the planning, the level setting. And again, the onus is on the bride. And once you pass those bridesmaids along to us through that group ordering appointment, we're going to make sure they get their dresses on time. We're going to text them. We're going to email them. Hey, this is the deadline. And if you miss it, you miss it. But we stay in constant communication with the bride.
So you're almost like a bridesmaid consultant.
I thought you were going to say like mind reader or clairvoyant.
Or
but yes, you're right.
We call it like a attendant.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah, virtually.
They need that.
Stalker, whatever you want to call it.
We need that. You know how we have bridal attendants? We need bridesmaids attendants. No, they demand things too. Like it's not just the bride. The bridesmaids, the bridesmen. No, there's bridesmaids, there's bridesmen.
Yes.
There's a lot of things. They demand a lot of things. And maybe if they had like a bridesmaid attendant, they would be okay.
Right.
But anyway, let's tap in. I'm going to bring this back really quick. Let's talk about tariffs because you're telling people to order 6 to 9 months in advance. If I'm getting married in 2026 and I have bridesmaids and I know that tariffs are taking into effect, what is your recommendation for that?
Yeah. So as you all might not, now you might know this from this conversation, but we're planners over here. Okay. So we think about things in advance, right? So for our spring, summer, early fall weddings, the ideal time to shop is November of the year before through May of the actual year. And really April, May should be like late fall people. It should not be, you're getting married in May and you're ordering in May, right? And so we actually produce and manufacture for those time periods, right? And so we basically, right now, I'm sorry, y'all, but a lot of our stock is sold out, right? Because we've made sure that we can have all our girls who are, you know, ordering until April and May, right? And they have their dresses, right? And so then we restock again in late August, right? For the people who are going to be ordering in November through December, right? And so we're very intentional about that. So to your point, we have factored in now, you know, tariffs and all of that because we've planned ahead of time. So there should not be any impacts to our business. We buy in volume, so we get, you know, really great, but we're not made to order in custom. So we don't expect that our girls are going to see any effects to tariffs based on tariffs, but you guys still need to be ordering on time. Right? Because the people who haven't ordered, they're like, where's the Tiana gown in burnt sienna? You know, burnt sienna is like the hottest color of the season, right? In a size 22. Well, that was sold out like a month ago. You guys were supposed to have ordered already. So for like our fall girls, they can still get in on the August batch. So we'll be restocking then. But it's, you know, we want you guys to order on time so that you can get all the inventory. All your girls can have their dresses, right? So like I said, now size 22, she don't have her dress, but size 8 can still order, you know? So we just need to make sure that everyone has their dresses, everybody's ordering on time. And again, if you're one of our, what did you call it? The bridesmaid concierge? Yes. If you're a part of that service, we're making sure everybody gets their dresses in. And we're telling you, hey, we're down to 2 size 22s. You're going to need to have your girls get these dresses. So we definitely look out if you're kind of in our, you know, process of getting your dresses.
That's good.
Yeah, and that's why Bridal Babes stands apart from all the other ones.
Thank you.
Because they're double checking. A lot of them are not double checking for you like Bridal Babes is. So that makes a difference, especially as a bride. If you're trying to select who to get a dress from, maybe selecting Bridal Babes makes more sense because it takes a loaded pressure off of you when it comes to that.
Yeah, you're so right. I mean, and there's so much that brides have to do. Again, that's why we look at that 6 to 9 months window, because we want that last 3 months before the wedding. We don't want you chasing down your friend who hasn't got her dress. We want you focused on your bridal shower, your bachelorette, the seating chart, whatever your planner needs, you know, all these invoices you're closing out. We don't want there to be another thing on your plate. So we like to work collaboratively to make sure you stay on schedule, and then we wrangle them in if we have to.
Right. I love that.
Leroy, did you think we hit on budget enough? I did.
Yeah.
It's a bridesmaid dress.
Yeah. Let's not
It's
do
not
that.
a... Okay.
I think you should do that clip. That was a good one.
Which one?
It's a bridesmaid dress. Why y'all acting like that?
No.
No, because I know
Not
that's how
too
I
much
feel.
on my girl.
Like,
Not too much on Bridal Babes.
No. I like that because it is like a little ridiculous. Like, why did you not make the deadline? Like, it's like a $200 dress. You know, a lot of times, you know, with the discount.
And there's options.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Klarna.
Yeah.
There's Afterpay.
Yeah.
Wait, this is an ad for Bridal Babes. First of all, it's a bridesmaid dress. There's Klarna. There's Afterpay. There's, what is it? Shop Pay.
PayPal installments, Apple Pay. Everybody got to pay.
Girl, buy the dress.
Yes, stop playing. And then don't get mad at me when your dress isn't there for the wedding when you just ordered.
It's really on you.
Not too much on Bridal Babes.
This is why we talk. This is why we tell the bride. We be telling the bride on the bridesmaids. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. Be like, look, your bridesmaid didn't order, and she keeps being rude.
Right.
So thinking about timing, we've heard that, you know, we've talked about it, and it's something common that pops up. What are some other common mistakes that brides and bridesmaids do when it comes to picking out bridesmaids dresses?
The biggest thing is that they don't take into account the body type of all of their bridesmaids. A lot of times, you know, even when we're doing like our intake calls where we're getting to find out, you know, about the bride, or we're preparing for them to come in store or for their virtual group ordering appointment, the bride will say the girls are a certain size and they'll be like way off. It's like they don't even notice that they have a curvier bridesmaid in their bridal party. And so they're not necessarily picking dresses that are flattering for everyone. And so what we love is like we champion the mix and match, right? Same color, but different dress style based on body type, style, personality, all of that, right? And so when they take that approach, everybody feels comfortable in the dress. Like, it's one thing to be picky, like, oh, I don't like that color or I don't like that style. But if they're actually going to be like uncomfortable because it's not flattering, I would say that's one of the biggest mistakes I see.
Okay. Yeah, that is good. That is good. So with that being said, I'm going to change the topic just a little bit because Bridal Babes has exploded. And I mean, we love that because we're like DMV planners. So we can be like, go right there because that's close. And, you know, if I need to
try it on.
Yeah. With that being said, tell us a little bit about your experience with Shark Tank and et cetera and getting Bridal Babes to where it is today.
All right. So that's a big question.
It's a lot loaded.
So I talked a little bit about 2022, right? So when my husband and I both left our full-time jobs and we were like, we're just going all in, right? So that was like our breakthrough year. So a lot of businesses can't really pinpoint. They're like, it was just like a lot of small things that led up to like this was the year, right? Because we intentionally said we're going to go for it, right? And so Shark Tank was one of the big pieces of that major year. So I actually just did like the online application. And I was like, I wonder what'll happen. Like, I listen to all these podcasts. They're like, yeah, Shark Tank comes and finds you at like a, I don't know, farmer's market you're vending at, or they reach out. And I'm like, oh, and then we're doing Bridesmaids. Like, you don't see a lot of wedding stuff. I was like, I'm just going to do it because I love Shark Tank. Like, so I went to UVA. I went to business school. My mother went to UVA business school. So we're like a business family, right? So I love Shark Tank. So I applied. I didn't even tell Charles. I was just like, because this is like, it's not going to happen, you know? Right. Then they called. And I'm like, what? This isn't real.
That? Don't you love that when you go to your husband and be like, look what I did.
I sure did. So, but Charles doesn't get excited because, well, your husband now knows this because we're best friends.
You're best friends. Okay.
But he's a former football player. Okay. So like, he's like, yeah, I played on bigger stages than this. You know what I mean? Like, so everything I do is like very like, you know. So, you know, I told him and he was like, okay, cool. And I'm like, all right. So then we went through a series of like auditions that we didn't know were auditions. So we were matched like with a producer and we thought that they were like our coach, but actually we were trying out on every call that we had with them. So right, like maybe 2 auditions or tryouts or whatever right before we were going to fly out. Again, we thought we were locked in. Like we thought we were good to go, but we didn't know we could be cut at any moment. And so the producer was like, so I had something to tell you. I was like, what? She was like, you know, your dream guest shark? I was like, yeah. She's like, Emma Greed is going to be on your episode. And I was like, what? You mean like the first Black female guest shark who is like the champion of size inclusive apparel with Skims and Good American and now all these other brands that she's a part of? I was like, stop, you've got to be kidding me. Because I was like, we really don't have a chance, you know, unless like... Because like Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, like he does weddings, but he's so hard, you know? So I was like, And then like Lori is like, she kind of does apparel, but like, But once I knew Emma was on, I was like, oh,
you got it.
We locked in. We locked in. Yeah. And so we went on and she said like the minute she saw us, she was just like the dress, the energy, the partnership. She was like, I knew it was it, you know? And I mean, obviously the minute I saw her, I was like, yes, you are.
We locked in. We've been waiting for you.
So yeah, it was amazing. It got us like, I think that credibility because before, like we would tell people we have the business and they're like, oh, okay, cute. Cute little bridesmaid. You got a little wedding shop, right? You know, and it's like, no, we're like making major moves. So it was cool. And I think it also put something out there about the bridal industry that had never really been talked about. Because this is 2022, right? And just the lack of inclusivity from like a, you know, ethnicity perspective, like you never saw Black couples, Latino couple, any of that in mainstream bridal publications, fashion, none of that, right? And then also the sizes. Everybody was like rail thin, you know, on the whatever, insert whatever company or whatever, you know, wedding magazine. And so people really noticed that. And we would see it all the time, like on our social media. People were like, wow, I've never seen a bride who looks like me, you know? And that's what keeps us going. Like, it, you know, we had the challenges with some of the brides. bridesmaids, you know, that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, we know that we actually have like a purpose, you know, and we're making changes. And now, you know, I used to get a little salty when people were like, you know, doing stretch satin, you know, and saying that's their signature fabric all of a sudden.
Like,
or like a style that, you know, or now having like an all black bridal party on their homepage.
Yeah.
Like I never saw that before. But you know what? What do they say? All boats rise. You know, and so if people are starting to get used to seeing more diversity, you know, that also creates more legitimacy for us because one of the things I'll say is, yeah, you don't have to be black to shop with a black-owned business, but it's a lot harder to bring them on to shopping with us. We'll shop anywhere. We don't care, right? Because we're just not used to it, you know? So I think it is creating, you know, a little bit more of like a symbiotic experience between all of us.
So thinking about where Bridal Babes started from, where you are now, are there things that we should be on the lookout for when it comes to what Bridal Babes has next? Now, I don't want you to tell us, you know, things that, you know.
I won't. Don't worry. I won't.
But like, what should we be on the lookout for that's coming soon?
So for this year, we were all about deepening our connections and our relationships with our clients, right? So taking those virtual try-ons that used to just be with the group and now having that one-on-one with the bride, you know, having the store open. So it's all about connections and relationships. For the next year, we're going to look at expanding our product categories. So groomsmen sets have done phenomenal.
Wait, what?
Yes, matching groomsmen sets. I have one over there. We should get some content with that.
Oh my goodness.
Matching groomsmen sets have done phenomenal, right? So because we know the guys, they don't care about anything but the bachelor party. Even the groom. He is not here for color coordinating anything. And so now we basically, our bride can shop for the groomsmen sets, the bridesmaid dresses, and the bridesmaid robes all in one place.
I love that.
Thank you. So of course we started off with the sienna, burnt sienna, blush, black, kind of those classic colors. But we're, you know, expanding to sage, dusty blue, like a soft butter yellow for all of those complementary accessories as well.
Very, very nice.
Okay. No, that was a lot. And when you brought the groom in there, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we were all taken aback. Like,
You know,
wait a minute.
I just got tired of the girls asking me what the color match was at insert whatever company that does, you know. And so I was like, yeah, why are we not doing that? So it's not called, it's Bridal Babes. So when they get the package, it says Mr. Young's Atelier. So like after my husband. And he is actually like the suit king. Right? So like he does like all the coordination. Like he's the one that told me, you know, burnt sienna and navy look really good together. I'm gonna get a navy suit when you do the burnt sienna, and you know, because we do like anniversary shoots together. So yeah, he's all about. So I was like, we're gonna name that after him. So the guys don't have to get a groomsman set that says Bridal Babes. That would be a little weird if it said Bridal Babes on the front. Yeah.
So thinking about trends, we know every year there's a new trend, something happening. What do you foresee for 2025 and 2026 when it comes to bridesmaid dresses and colors and all the things? I know on social media right now, people are saying lilac is the color.
Well, you know, lilac been our color.
or what about wedding parties?
I'm just kidding.
It has been the Bridal Babes color,
What was your question?
And just same thing, but just throw in wedding parties.
Okay. Oh, I like that. Okay. So as far as like color style trends, all about the convertible dress, right? And so what I've started to notice is they're not doing mix and match of shades. Our brides are type A. Okay, they want exact same color, exact same silhouette, all of that, but we're allowing them to change it up with the neckline. So our Tiana gown, the one I told you was sold out in the burnt sienna, it's still in some other colors, but now you can change it to a halter, you can do one shoulder, you could do strapless, so lots of versatility there. Yeah, so I think the convertible dresses will start to trend even more. The softer colors, so sage, dusty blue, not Tiffany blue, you know, and then of course our neutrals are gonna stay. You know, people come to us because they know we have the best neutrals. So sienna, champagne, blush, black, all of those. As far as wedding parties, I think we're gonna go smaller.
that.
Yeah.
I would love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. I love a big bridal party because that does mean a big check for us.
It does, but it's like herding cattle over
But it
here.
is.
Yes.
It is. And
It's
sometimes it's
stress.
like painful.
Yeah,
it is
it's
a little
stress.
painful,
Yeah.
but we do it. We do it. Like I said, it's a big check. So y'all, you keep
Yes.
keep the 13, 14 bridal, 20 bridal parties going. Okay, I'm not mad, but I do think the smaller bridal parties. Yeah, they're gonna have a moment because it's less work. You actually have like that core group that's focused on you, not all these extra people,
Right.
the groom's favorite cousin,
Yeah.
somebody who's like, she should really just be a hostess, So I think the
guest.
small, or a guest, people love to be a guest. I love being a guest.
I love being a guest.
Sign me up to be a guest any day.
Yeah,
me too.
I don't need to be a bridesmaid again. I'm like in everybody's wedding that we work with, I
Yeah.
feel. They're like, you come to the wedding, did you get the invitation? Yes, we're going to show up with the content creator too. We'll be there. We'll be there. But yeah, so I definitely think the smaller bridal parties are going to have a moment. People have been doing no bridesmaids, and honestly, I don't like that. Because you need some girls around you to support you, And you're just saying it because I have a friend who didn't have bridesmaids. And we end up being her bridesmaids anyway. We did
'Cause
all
you're
the
helping
stuff, the
her,
bridal
yeah.
shower, the bachelorette. We made sure she was good. We were at the hotel the day of.
Yeah.
Who wants to be getting ready in the hotel by
Yeah.
themselves
Yep.
the day of your wedding?
True.
You don't have your man there. He's not there. He's doing his extended bachelor party.
Yeah.
Shots, 10 in the
seriously.
morning. Shots.
Seriously.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of facts to that, and I bring this up because sometimes brides don't want to get ready with their bridal party. They want they want to be separate a little bit.
Where do you do that at?
You kind
But-
of did that.
I did do that,
Yeah.
but my bridesmaids was off the chain.
Well, they would have distracted you?
They were complaining about how much the hairstylist was at.
Oh, they were getting on
asking
your
for-
nerves.
Yeah, they were just. But I asked them for
Amy
a
put
lot.
her phone
Yeah,
down
I
and
was gonna
closed
say-
that door and just had her own private moment.
Well, you need a moment. But
No,
not the
but you're
whole
right.
day.
When people
You're like, she
hyping
did a
you
whole day.
up and things like that, and you're right. You do need somebody. So if you are considering not having a bridal party, you should have somebody there.
You should.
Yeah.
Because if
And not your mom, because it's her wedding too. She
Right.
might as well be the
She's gonna
bride.
or have
stress
a
you out,
planner,
too.
or have a bridal attendant.
Yes.
Yes.
You need a bridal attendant.
Yes.
Let me take that.
Yes.
back.
If you don't know the difference, go back to our previous episode. We broke it down and we talked about it. So
Yeah, and absolutely. And I have a question for just our viewers right now. Like, how do you guys feel about bridesmaids dresses? Who's paying for the bridesmaid's dress? Are people in different outfits? And then as just a bride in general, cut and just do separate. Do you find it useful to have a bridesmaid's concierge service so that someone can help you through the process of picking those dresses for your bridesmaids? Sorry, we got to cut that so we get the comments and
That's
get you
good.
some content.
Yeah.
And steaming them the day of the wedding.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God!
I should have cut you off.
No,
I should have cut you
Can
off.
we need to talk about this. We need
They
to talk
think,
about
they think that y'all are going to steam the dresses. It's always funny.
no, because Whitney does not steam dresses.
I don't
be
do
in
it.
there steaming
And
dresses
I only
by
did it
myself.
one time because Amy was the bridesmaid in that wedding, and it was Amy's friend, and I had a sew-in, and I had to steam that dress, and my hair was so big by the time I was like, I'm never doing this again. Never, ever doing this again.
Yeah.
And I don't do it anyway, but I'm for sure not doing it again after that. So
Yeah.
I was in there lightheaded. I will literally pick up a bride's and bridesmaid's dress 2 days before, take it to the cleaners to avoid having to steam it.
No,
As
gonna
your
cut
wedding
it. It's gonna
planner
cut it.
team, we are not a dry cleaners. I'm not a professional dry cleaners. My steamer is from Target before we cancel them, right? And I just want to say that if I don't get every single wrinkle out, you can't be mad at me
Right,
because
'cause
you
that's
should have
not
took
my
it
job.
prior to. And I don't know if you tell the bridesmaids to do that before, but a lot of them like fly to the wedding, take it out their thing and trying to figure it out. Get a steamer. Ask your wedding planner if she has an emergency kit. See if there's a bridal attendant because it is not your wedding planner's job to make sure that your itinerary stays on track, your vendors are there, and also steaming your dresses. And take them robes out the Shein.
Ooh.
Out the Shein bag.
Oh, that is
listen.
painful.
The
It is
Shein
painful.
bag the creases be creased.
It is
Yeah.
painful. It's painful.
And they're not coming out. So don't even ask us
Yeah.
to steam it.
Take your robes
Like-
out when you get. So we tell them get the robes for the bridesmaid proposal. It's a cute gift to put
can
in
hang it
there.
up.
You can
Yeah.
hang it up, shake some of the creases out, you know. And so it's like a gift.
Right.
Plus, it's a part of your cute little
What
wedding
if they
op.
forget it though? That's
Or you could do it the day before. You could do like rehearsal
need to
dinner, give it to them.
create a
But you need to have. You don't give it to them the day of. I think that's
Yeah.
what's happening. The girls, the brides, are giving it to them the day of the wedding, and then they're not steamed and ready to go.
Okay.
So if it's not, do the rehearsal dinner. If you're worried about them
So they have
losing
some
it.
time to get to Target, get the steamer, and
Yeah.
steam it themselves.
And you know, honestly, so we offer it for our clients that we do like the paid content creation for. Sometimes we'll just pop up on you, you know, if you invite us to the wedding. But for the paid one, we do offer steaming as well.
So I didn't know you guys offer that. So
Well, it's a
That's
little. We
good.
don't really
So-
tell people. We just
Okay,
like the one
can
girls
we
that we like. We just
broadcast
tell them
it?
like. Yeah.
I mean, can we please tell the people? Because I'm tired of steaming.
I'm
Okay.
not gonna
all
lie.
right.
I think that people will come to you
Yes.
guys for bridesmaid
Mm-hmm.
dresses because content creation is added, because that is a key right
Oh
now.
yeah.
I thought you were talking about the steaming.
Me too. I did too.
No, the steaming, but the content creation.
Yeah.
Did they get all of that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But see, we're real selective about it right now.
Okay.
Because we're kind of like, you know, testing it out, seeing how it goes. But yeah, I mean, we would.
I mean, but bring
It's definitely needed.
y'all
It's
bring
definitely
the
needed.
heat, though.
It's definitely. I know.
Yeah.
But it's definitely needed. And I will say the other thing is with our dresses, because they are stretch satin and they're not satin or tulle, they don't wrinkle or look as wrinkled, right? So really, you just got to hit the bottom of the dress.
Yeah.
Or if you have one of the ones with the sash, you do need to hit the sash. But all up in here, you're going to be good.
Right,
You know,
right.
if the dress is fitting you like it should. So
Right.
that's another thing. I mean, it's not as much steaming that you have to do either.
Which we thank God for that.
Yeah.
Don't even ask me about a steamer anymore. I'm not
Don't even
bringing it,
look
'cause
your
I
way.
I'm not doing it.
She gonna bring it because I provided her.
No,
one.
I'm not. I'm not.
How you gonna say that?
Provide with me, but I'm not bringing it. It's gonna be right in that car because I don't steam dresses anymore.
It's okay. We'll do
Y'all
it.
tell
Bridal
me-
Babes will do
y'all
it.
tell
Bridal
me-
Babes will
y'all
steam.
tell me if Whitney, my lead planner, is not steaming dresses.
Oh
if
no
you
no
guys
no!
steam.
Ask my last bride. I went to her house. I picked it up and I took it to the cleaners.
They don't steam. They do. Planners do not
Yeah.
steam anymore. I'm telling you.
And I'm
okay,
not-
And
I'm
they
going
like to
to.
disappear. They like to disappear when we're
I'm
there.
telling you.
They're like, oh no, you're in charge. I'm like, wait, we just here for
I was
content
But
creation.
I'm telling you, we're still supposed to steam. Whitney's over here saying, I ain't
Who's still
steaming.
supposed to
I'm-
steam?
I'm really
Your
not.
company? Your
My
company? Okay.
And she's in the company.
Yeah.
No,
and
because
I'm
I'm
not.
saying
I'm
I have
not
noticed
doing
the
it.
reason that
Wait,
we started
you
it
come
was
up with a
because
plan.
they don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it to the cleaners.
Yeah, she comes up with a plan though, so it works. So
No, but I'm telling you, but she's not crazy because I know that's you guys' rule.
Yeah.
But she's not crazy. So what I noticed, this is actually why we started doing this because I thought that the planners were steaming the dresses and the robes, and I was like, yo, what is going on? This is a luxury wedding.
Yeah.
What is going on? So it seems as though this is just me looking from the outside and having a few planner friends, and I have seen the shift. Because remember, I started working in weddings in like 2014, 2015. I was with Kumbi when she had Al Perfect. Now it's called Perfect. So I was like kind of doing the wedding blog thing. So that's how I met Mahalia.
Yeah.
Right? And so I met a lot of planners when they first started versus who they are now.
Yeah.
And the minimums be minimuming, okay?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to steam anymore either. But if I know it affects my content,
I know. But they want,
I
and I
will
think
try
they're
and
too
steam.
busy. I think they're too busy because
don't
all
care.
these installations and stuff, it's too much.
It is
They're
a
doing
lot.
the installations at the ceremony, the one at the reception. They're really not even there with the bride anymore.
Yeah.
Again,
That's why you need a bridal
very
attendant.
different. Yes, very different than what it was back in the day. So yeah, they're not steaming. So that's why I was like, okay, if y'all are not steaming and people are not hiring bridal attendants, like you said, for the content, Bridal Babes is going to have to be there. So we started offering it because I mean, it looks really, especially the robes. I'm with you on
the ropes is bad.
Yeah.
And
Like-
Whitney, from this day on, I'm not gonna make y'all steam nothing no more. You want to steam
I
it
wasn't
anyway.
you just found out. My stylist be doing the same thing. I be finding out stuff like, wait, you don't do
Listen,
that?
Amy knows. I've worked with Amy since what, 2020? 2020? If I say I'm not doing something,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not.
That's
doing
okay.
it.
And she be all cute with her dimples and smiling. Like,
she not
I'm
doing
not
it."
doing that. He's like, hold on. Is she
I would
telling me
literally
something
be
crazy
like,
and she's
"Dang,
smiling?
I'm so sorry you didn't go get your dress steam. Sorry.
Damn.
Yeah, but they're not doing it anymore. I would say that. Nobody's doing it. And I get it because, like you said,
so much
your
work.
hair
I'm
sweat out.
About to pass out.
Yeah.
And then she's going to try to file workman's comp.
Yeah.
Because
and
the fingers burn. Our girls' fingers be getting burned. They're like, my fingers are burned. So they have to wear the steaming glove. After doing 13 dresses. Yes, after doing 13 dresses, it's a lot. It's a lot. So she is correct. But people are just going to have to start hiring people to steam dresses because the bridesmaids are not going to do it.
And this is definitely, I'm happy we had this conversation because this is very, very deep. And with that being said, Ashley, thank you so much for coming to the Planner Suite. But one thing I want to know is where is the brick and mortar store for Bridal Babes?
Yes.
People need to know about that.
So we are located right off of 95 in Laurel, Maryland. So I told you the girls be coming from New York, Philly. I went from Connecticut the other weekend, just right down 95 or right up 95. So we book by appointment only. So please do not pop up on us. The girls are like, I'm just in the area. Can I? No,
you can't.
No, we're shipping dresses. Okay, we're shipping dresses today. Okay, and we all do not look ready for an appointment. So we're in Laurel, Maryland. So the process for booking any kind of appointment is starting with that free styling call, right? It's all over the website, so it's really easy to find. So do not just call us. Book the styling call, okay? Follow directions. There are directions on the website as well. I'm gonna do like you smile and say,
it's all in the delivery. Yeah. Stop calling her.
Stop calling, and then you'll book either the group ordering appointment virtually, or you can book the in-person group ordering appointment.
Very nice. So also tell the people where to find you virtually.
Yes.
Social media.
Yes. So everything Bridal Babes. Our website is bridalbabes.co. People always like, where did you get that from? Bridal Babes was taken. You can actually do bridalbabes.com now, but I'm still, bridalbabes.co is still
we
on there.
couldn't find who had the .com and be like, come on now. See this?
I paid them. Once we started making some money, I paid them.
Okay.
Yeah. But a lot of our marketing material still has .co. So .co. And then Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube. I think we even have a Snapchat, but we're not really active on there. So, yes.
Yes, so be sure to follow Bridal Babes. As always, follow us, subscribe, tell your friends. And we want to thank you, Ashley, for coming to the Planner Suite.
Thank you.
And talking about
ladies.
bridesmaids, we feel like we always talk about brides and grooms, but this was the moment for bridesmaids to shine. So we want to thank you for that.
Thank you. Thanks for highlighting my girls. I love a bridesmaid. I love a bridesmaid. Okay.
And as always, catch us right back here in the Planner Suite.
Bye.